welcome back to my channel and to today's video. I hope you're all okay. So today's video is going to be kind of crafty catch-up video. It's going to be quite an informal one where I'm just chatting about things that I've got going on, so works in progress, some new fabrics that have arrived, some plans that I'm trying to get made before the summer holidays come upon me, which isn't very long now. I've got about a week and a half. So yeah, just a kind of chatty one, sharing lots of crafty things and crafty updates. Oh, and I'll also be sharing a finished crochet project and my new knitting project as well, so I hope you'll enjoy today's video. So if you're new to my channel, as always, I'd really love you to consider subscribing. I post lots of sewing content, mainly on a Sunday morning, but also sometimes knitting and crochet as well. So I'd love you to consider subscribing if you haven't already, and thank you again if you're joining me and you are a regular viewer. So just before I get started, I'll quickly share what I'm wearing. So what I'm wearing today is a top version of the Sudley dress and top pattern by Megan Nielsen. And I'll put a picture in here so that you can see that pattern if you're not familiar with it. So this is just a slight hack really. So I've made up the top as it is and I've included the Peter Pan collar and the little kind of keyhole tie here. And then at the bottom of the top, I've just added a little peplum skirt. So just slightly different really to how the top should be made up, just a really slight hack, and I really like how that's turned out. It's nice and floaty and cool for summertime. And I just love this fabric so much. This is an Art Gallery rayon. And it's just so pretty and floaty. So with all that said, I think I'll get into chatting about everything because otherwise this could be a very long video. I have quite a lot to share. So firstly, I'll start with some new fabrics that I've picked up and a couple of plans that I have kind of in progress at the moment. So the first fabric that's literally just arrived in the post, and I'm so pleased because I was really hoping it would turn up today before I recorded this video, is some new swimwear fabric. So this was a total impulse buy. I wasn't planning to make any more swimwear. I'm sure you will have seen that recently Tilly and the Buttons brought out a new swimwear pattern called the Coraline swimsuit, I think. But I'm not going to make that. But they did start stocking some really lovely swimwear fabrics, and they sent out an email recently just saying they'd got these new swimwear fabrics in stock, and I bought one of them. And I want to make another Megan Nielsen Cottesloe two-piece swimsuit. So I'll put an image of the pattern in here because I haven't actually got it with me at the moment. So you can make this swimsuit pattern as a full one-piece, or there are a couple of options for making a two-piece as well. I really like the two-piece version with the high-waisted bottoms and the kind of sportswear style top. And I made one of those earlier in the year and I really enjoyed wearing it. It gave quite a lot of coverage and I just felt really sort of okay in it when I went out swimming when we were on holiday. And I always thought that I'd like to make another version. And I was actually looking for a swimwear fabric similar to this. So when I saw this on the Tilly and the Buttons website, I thought I must have that before it goes out of stock. And I'm just hoping that I've got enough of this actually. I was quite minimal with how much I brought because I know that the Cottesloe doesn't take a lot of fabric at all, and I think I brought a whole metre last time I made it and I ended up having loads over. So I've only got half a metre here, but it is really wide and I think I'll quite easily get the two-piece swimsuit out of that. So yeah, I bought that from Tilly and the Buttons as a complete impulse buy, and I also brought some lining fabric as well so that I can make up my Cottesloe. And I'm kind of hoping that I might get that done before we go away on holiday, although I am cutting it fine. So we're going away to Cornwall a week next Friday when the children break up from school, just for a week. So if I can, I might try and get that made in time for that holiday, although wearing a two-piece swimsuit on a beach in England is quite ambitious. We don't always have that nice weather here in England. So, but yeah, we do, if the weather's nice, then we do, when we go to Cornwall, we spend quite a lot of time on the beach. So it would be really nice to get that made up before we go. So fingers crossed I might get that one done. So that's that new fabric. And then another fabric that I've acquired recently is this lovely one from Minerva. Ooh. So I do have this in bits and pieces because I've already cut something out of this, and this is one of the Minerva new exclusive viscose ranges. So as one of their brand ambassadors, I got to choose one of the designs so that I could make something up and review it on my Minerva profile, which will be coming soon. So I've cut something out, but this is a really nice, lovely, soft, drapey viscose. It's a really, really nice quality. And Minerva have quite an extensive range now of designs in their exclusive viscose range. So If I can, I'll link that down below if I can link the whole range, but I'll definitely link this fabric. So yeah, I have cut something out of this, and it's another Sew Mashup project for mine and Cass challenge that we're running over on Instagram. And I'll link all the details of that challenge below. It does end on the 31st of July, but there is still a little bit of time to enter if you want to. So yeah, I'm working on that at the moment. I'm not going to say what it is quite yet because it's another one that I'm not quite sure whether it'll work or not. So fingers crossed that will work. So that's a project that I've got on the go at the moment, and I really like this fabric. It's on a black background and it's called a confetti print, I think. It's quite bright actually, so there's some sort of neon yellows and oranges in there, and then there's some pinks and greens and blues, and it's just really nice and pretty. So that's another new fabric. So I had another new fabric turn up recently, and that was for my saltwater slip dress that I've been planning to make for this kind of summertime. And this is the saltwater slip dress by Friday Pattern Company. You've probably seen it already. It's a really nice slip style dress, quite straight, quite simple styled. It has some cami straps and a neckline which isn't too low, which I really like. So yeah, I really wanted to make this up because I've seen so many lovely slip dress patterns on the high street and around on Instagram and things, and I thought it would be a really good one to try because this isn't the style of dress that I normally go for. I normally go for something sort of floaty and gathered, so this is a different kind of style for me, so I'm really excited to give this one a go. And I talked all about this pattern and my plans for it in my 3 looks I want to make for summertime, and I'll link that video down below or up here. So yeah, the fabric that I had planned for that dress has arrived now, and here it is. This is from Stuff and Still. Again, it's a viscose linen fabric and it's so lovely. I have given this a wash, so it might look a bit creased on the camera. I haven't pressed it yet, but it's really pretty. It's on a sort of navy background, and then it's got, I don't know what you'd call that, like an abstract print or a splodgy print, with green and beige and sort of terracotta colour all over it. So I can't wait to get that dress made up. The only reason I haven't actually got around to starting my slip dress yet is because the dress actually has rings and sliders on it so that you can adjust the straps at the back. And I needed to buy some of those, and I ordered some from Amazon thinking that that would be the quickest place to get some from, and they took absolutely ages to come. And actually these have just turned up this morning as well, so I've finally got my rings and sliders. But I wouldn't advise buying them from Amazon like I did because they took ages, and I'm sure there were better places that I could have bought those from. So yeah, I'm pleased that I've got those now and I can finally go ahead and have a go at making up this pattern. I've printed all of the PDF sheets off, but I haven't stuck it together yet. I've been lazy. I hate doing that. It's one of my worst jobs, I think, but I need to get on and do that. I did think actually that this was going to be another one I'd like to get made before we went on holiday, but I'm thinking actually it won't actually matter if that gets pushed back into the summer holidays, and I can maybe make that while we're off school and a bit more relaxed at home. So that's that one, and hopefully it won't be too long before I can have a go at making that one up. So the next thing I have to share is, remember my Jack Tar bag that I've been planning to make again by Merchant at Mills? I'll pop an image of the bag in here. I've also got it on a little image here because this is the hardware that I need to make this bag up. So I think when I last did a video like this, just sharing my plans and things, I'd shared that I'd ordered a fabric from Minerva, and it was a navy fabric that I wanted to make this bag up with. And that fabric arrived a couple of days later and I wasn't too happy with it. So I had actually thought that I'd ordered a navy fabric from them. But when it arrived, it was actually much more of a royal blue colour. I'm not sure if the colour is going to show up properly on the camera, but rather than navy, it's actually quite a lot more royal blue. And I didn't sort of say anything or anything because I think I've chosen the wrong colour, because going back and looking at the colour chart again, there was another colour called Old Blue, which was a bit more the colour that I wanted. So I'm going to keep this one and probably make another bag or something from it in the future. But I reordered some of this twill, and rather than go for a blue again, I've actually gone for quite a nice sand colour. So this is exactly the same fabric, I've just bought another metre of it. And I originally did want to go for a colour like this, but I was a bit worried about how dirty it would get. And in the end I decided that I would just make the colour that I actually wanted. So I went for this stone colour and I'm really pleased with it. And so that's all ready to go and to make my bag up. And then for the lining of the bag, I'm actually going to use this floral. And I hope that that will go really nicely together. So again, I do want to get this one made up before we go away in a week or so's time, because I think that will be a really handy bag to have for walking around with children and things like that, and all the things that you need to carry around. It's quite a big, roomy bucket bag with some handy pockets and things in it as well, so I think it'll be a really good one for holidays. And especially when we go out and about over the summer holidays and things, I just think it will be a good one to have for that as well. So that was what happened with my Jack Tar bag, and yeah, next week I'm hoping to get some time to make that one up. So next I've got a work in progress to share with you. So do you remember my quilted jacket dilemma? So in my 3 looks I want to recreate for summer again, I mentioned that I wanted to make a quilted jacket, but I was really stuck on what pattern to go for and what style I wanted to go for as well. So I ummed and ahed for ages about what kind of quilted jacket I wanted to make, what pattern to use, whether I could hack a pattern that I've already got. And in the end, you might remember recently, or actually in my recent makes video, I shared that I'd made another version of the Logan Shacket by Stylark. So I've made quite a few versions of the Logan Shacket now, as you'll know if you regularly watch my videos. So I made up this denim version, and then while I was making that, I thought, you know, I think a quilted version of this Logan Shacket pattern would actually work really nicely. So I'm almost finished with this quilted version of the Logan Shacket now. I've just got to add buttons. Here it is, nice and big and bulky. It's really, really cozy actually, and I'm so pleased with how this turned out actually. I was kind of unsure the whole time I was making this how it would turn out. And I did need to alter the pattern a little bit, because you'll see on the inside I've made the button bands out of some Liberty scraps of fabric that I had in my stash that I thought would go really nicely with this lovely green colour. And of course, because the fabric is pre-quilted, I needed to finish the seams somehow. Probably not just on an overlocker, in a different kind of way. I could have overlocked it, but it wouldn't have looked very nice inside. So I decided actually in the end to bias bind all of my seams inside and the hem. Can you see that? So I have quite a lot of Liberty scraps of fabric, because I used to make things, my Etsy shop in Liberty fabric, I used to make scrunchies and things, so I had quite a lot of scraps in a little box. And I thought I'd put them to good use making some bias binding that I could use to then bind all of my seams in this jacket. And I'm so pleased with how this has turned out. It's the first time I've kind of used bias binding in this way. Let me take it off of the coat hanger. So yeah, it's the first time I've used bias binding in that way. So it was a bit of a fiddle, mainly because I made my bias binding quite narrow, so it was quite fiddly to get all of the seams nicely enclosed and everything, but I'm really pleased with the finish that it gives, and I just think it looks so pretty. So this Logan Shacket did take me a little bit longer to make than my previous versions, but it still came together pretty quickly. I did have to just change the pattern slightly. So normally on the Logan Shacket you cut the button band as part of the front pieces and then you just fold it in. But because I've used a cotton button band in the Liberty fabric, I needed to take off part of the front pieces of the shacket and then just kind of draft a new button band that I could cut from the cotton and then attach, including seam allowances and everything. So yeah, it took a little bit more thinking and a little bit more work, but I'm pleased to say that all of my calculations worked out correctly and everything went together really nicely. So as well as the button bands being in the Liberty fabric, I've also just made the inside collar stand out of Liberty fabric, and then I've just lined the under collar in Liberty as well. So you just kind of get that flash of the underside of the collar, and I think that looks really nice. So this is all done apart from buttons now. Oh, I forgot to say, I actually lined the cuffs as well. So these are lined inside so that when you turn them up, you can see the Liberty fabric on the outside, which is really nice as well. And yeah, you can probably tell that I'm really pleased with this, and I hope that I'll wear it. It was really funny when I showed my daughter this. She said it looked like a granny coat. And then I showed my husband and he was a bit like, that's different. So yeah, I really hope I'll wear it. It's definitely very cozy and I really love the finish of it and I love how it's come together. So yeah, I really hope that I will wear it. And I'm definitely going to take this one to Cornwall because I think it will be nice and cosy for the chilly English weather that we have in the summertime here. So yeah, all I need to do with this one now is just to attach buttons. So I have 2 button options at the moment. I wasn't sure again what buttons to go for with this. And I picked 2 types of buttons up in Hobbycraft. I got these wooden buttons, which I think are quite nice, and I think they would go with the jacket quite nicely. They're just quite wide wooden buttons. And then I also got some denim buttons, so they're these bronzy metal type buttons, and I think these are the ones I'm going to go for because I think they will make it look a bit more jacket like. So I haven't attached them yet, purely for the reason that you need a hammer to put them on, and I needed to get a hammer out of the garage, which I haven't done yet. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go for, and I hope they will match really nicely and just kind of finish it off and make it look a little bit more professional and a little bit more kind of jacket like as well. So yeah, I hope you like that one. When I come to do another makes video, I'll share this again with the buttons all on and finished, just so that you can see the kind of final finished jacket. So next I have a really fun crochet project to share with you, and this is something that I finished crocheting recently, and I thought I'd just share it today because I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be doing another makes video. So this was a really fun crochet project. So after the success of my Toft Eleanor the Labrador make, which was really tiny and the first thing I ever crocheted, I thought I'd have a go at crocheting something else. And on Lovecraft's website they have absolutely thousands and thousands of origami, I think that's how you pronounce it, crochet patterns for toys. And my daughter at the moment really loves Pusheen, so she's really into Pusheen stationery and soft toys and things like that. And I found this crochet pattern on the Lovecraft's free patterns website. And I thought I'd have a go at it, and I didn't really share much about this on Instagram because I wasn't sure how it was going to go. It's only the second thing I've ever crocheted in my life. But yeah, it turns out really well, if I do say so myself, and much better than I thought it would. So I really enjoyed making this. It was really nice to sit and crochet in the evenings. It's all done in the round, so the body is just done round and round and round, and then obviously you just attach the little ears and the legs and hands and the tail separately, and you also crochet the stripes separately and then you attach them afterwards. And then she's also holding this little ice cream here, which was really fun to make. And then it also has some nice safety eyes as well, which I really like because I'm not very good at sewing on eyes on soft toys. So I really like it when you can include safety eyes because they just look much better and more professional, I think. But yeah, I'm really proud that I have another crochet project under my belt, and yeah, I'm really enjoying crochet at the moment. I do find that I have to concentrate on it quite a lot. I can't just sit there and watch the TV very well while I'm doing it because I'm always looking at what I'm doing as opposed to knitting, which I've sort of done for so long that I can actually just do it without looking now if it's just a simple stitch, not lace or anything, but stocking stitch and garter stitch, I can just sit and do it without looking. I will link this pattern down below just in case you have a child that's also into Pusheen. Yeah, really fun one to do that came together really quickly. And then next I thought I would just share my current knitting project. So after I finished my Whitmore cardigan, which was quite an involved project, I just wanted something really quick and easy really to knit. So again I had another look on the Lovecraft's website and came across this nice pattern. So I've seen loads of lovely knitted vests and knitted cami tops and things around on the internet. And in the shops actually. Knitted tops seem to be really quite in at the moment. So I thought I'd have a go at knitting a vest, and I came across this pattern, another free pattern again, as I say, on the Lovecraft's website. It's a Debbie Bliss pattern. It's supposed to be knit in Debbie Bliss Amalfi cotton yarn, I think, but I haven't actually used that yarn. I've used a different one, which I'll share in a minute. This is a really simple sort of cami style vest, I guess. It's quite fitted, but it does have quite wide straps, which I like because it should be nice and easy to wear a bra strap underneath without any of that showing. And I'll show you the line drawings at the back. So it's quite a cropped top as well. So I'm really hoping that this will be a nice, quick and easy one to get knitted up quickly while we still have summer here in the UK. This is where I'm at with it at the moment. I've not done a lot of it and it looks really small when it's like that, but when I stretch it out I think it will be okay. So I'm using a really nice cotton yarn in double knit, which I also bought from Love Crafts, and it was a real bargain actually. I'll show you the yarn in a minute. So that's where I've got with this, but I had got a bit further with this actually, and I was knitting it in the garden the other day, and I'd had a glass of wine. I don't know if that's why, but I somehow managed to go completely wrong in the increasing pattern that I'm doing with it at the moment. So it's typical, isn't it? I got all the way through my Whitmore cardigan without making any mistakes in any of the lace, and then come to a simple stocking stitch project and mess it up completely. So I had to undo quite a lot of this, a good like 7 or 8 rows, which was really annoying and quite hard to get back together actually. I thought I was going to have to just rip back and completely start again, but I did manage to save it. So that's where I'm at. So at the moment I'm just sort of increasing up for the body, and then you separate for the straps and do those. So this is knit flat, so you do have to seam it up at the end. So this is the yarn that I got. This again, as I say, was from Love Crafts. It's a paint box cotton DK. And it just comes in 50-gram balls, and I bought this in a sale that they were having, and I got the whole pack of 5 balls of yarn, which should be enough for this, probably more than enough actually, for about £8.95, so a real cheap bargain. And this is really nice to knit with actually. I'm really impressed with the quality of it. I think paint box yarns are actually quite reasonably priced. I think I've used them before actually. So yeah, this is a really nice one, and I did a tension swatch and everything just to make sure that my sizing was coming up as it should, because obviously I'm not using the yarn that the pattern tells you to use. But I think this would be a good one for a knitted vest, and it's in a nice neutral colour as well, so it should go with a lot of things. So yeah, hoping to get that one knit up quite quickly, and I think I'll enjoy just taking my time with that over the summertime. Yeah, should be hopefully a nice easy project, she says, when she's already made a big mistake in it. So that's where I'm at with knitting. So I think that's everything I have to catch you up with today, everything that I have going on at the moment craft wise. Let me know what you think of the projects that I've shared, and let me know if you've made any of the patterns that I'm planning to make up, particularly the saltwater slip and the Jack Tar bag. I'm really excited to have a go at the bag. I just want to get on with that one now. But I do need to finish my Minerva make first, because I need to make that up for them. So yes, let me know in the comments what you're making. Let me know if, like me, you're planning to rush and get a couple of things made up before your summer holidays. I always feel like I do this coming up to a holiday. I always end up with like 2 or 3 things that I desperately want to sew before we go away, and I always put pressure on myself when I should have really been more organised and got them done earlier. But never mind, it's just part of the fun of sewing, isn't it? So I just wanted to mention, going into the summer holidays, obviously at the moment I'm putting out a video weekly on a Sunday morning. So through the month of August, I'm actually going to go down to just putting out a video every 2 weeks, just while the children are off school. And they will be pre-recorded videos that I've already recorded, and then I'll be scheduling them to go out over the summer holidays, purely because I want to spend as much time as I can with my children and have some family time. I'm just aware that my children are growing up so quickly. They're 10 and almost 13 now, and I just feel like the summer holidays are just so precious. So obviously I want to spend as much time as I can with them. So yeah, every 2 weeks over the summer holidays, and then back into September I'll hopefully go back to doing a weekly video, because I really love recording these videos and I love chatting to everyone in the comments, and talking about sewing and knitting and crochet is just obviously one of my most favourite things to do. So I love that I can do that here on YouTube, and chat to you all about it as well. So I just wanted to say thank you as well to everyone that's supported my channel this year. I feel like this year, as always, has just flown by, but I do feel like this has been a really lovely year for my channel, and I feel like it's grown, and I feel like there's just such a lovely sort of community here on my channel. And I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who watches my videos and likes and comments, and yeah, it's just really lovely, and I still can't quite believe that I'm doing these videos and doing YouTube, but here we are. So I will have a video coming out as normal until we get into August, and then there'll be every 2 weeks through August, and then back to weekly again from September. Anyway, I'll stop waffling on now and let you get on with your day. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.